Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Weeknights, your almost daily pod, where we what?
What was that? Why did you out us like that? What?
Because it's 5 nights a week,
Oh,
not
okay.
7.
I thought you were talking about the fact that we might have missed a day or two recently.
Nah. We already spoke about that yesterday.
Mm.
Yeah, your almost nightly pod where we break down the things. So let's break them down. But first, I am JD, aka He Who Pods. Glasses on today, so also rear view mirror.
And I'm Dash, aka Dashing D, aka I did not realize that was my cue. Sorry about that. It's been a week. I hope y'all have finished your Christmas shopping. I have not. I am stressed. I'm
I
like,
haven't I haven't finished, but I'm not stressed.
I'm a little stressed now because we've gotten to the point where now everything is saying get it after Christmas. I'm like, oh, okay.
So go in person.
I'm trying to do that where I can, but it's
Yeah.
not always possible. So,
Because if you go in person, you got it.
yeah,
That very moment.
you're right. You're right. I'm very much a buy online, pick up in store kind of gal. So,
Oh, and there you go. You could do that too. Pick up in store.
yeah, that's
A
like
lot of them will have it ready the same day now.
that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get started. I know we gotta get it moving.
Let's get started. Travis Hunter. No, I'm just kidding. You know about that stuff?
No,
Oh, okay. Never mind.
okay.
It's been all over the internet about this young man who won the Heisman Trophy. Um, he's one of Deion Sanders' um, players slash students,
Uh-huh.
and the internet has been wilding out on his girlfriend because they don't like the way his girlfriend has been behaving during important moments of his life and on the internet. And so I thought you'd know it's been all over the internet. So that's why I was just like, Travis Hunter. Nah, just kidding.
But now I need to know, how does she behave?
So he had a really important game a while back,
Mm-hmm.
and he had an amazing game and he did really well. And he like scored a touchdown and pointed at a cheerleader, and the camera panned up to her, and she had a face like And then after the game, like everybody celebrating and rushing, and huge win for the team and for him, and she was disgruntled. Um, and then she's been online responding to the haters. And then apparently at the the Heisman Trophy ceremony, when it was announced and he was given the trophy, this the highest.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, okay, so I got to break it down.
Yeah.
So he's given the Heisman Trophy. She was the last person to stand up and clap, and the first person to sit down.
When you say disgruntled, how do people know she was disgruntled? Is it
The
just that
camera, the camera showed her face, like
right?
she's been upset.
Is she really upset, or is that just her face?
No, she'd be looking pissed off. And there's other moments where she's not pissed off. And then people were saying like because she's some kind of Latin, some kind of, you know, quote unquote Spanish, that maybe that has to do with some of the things that she's not understanding with certain cultural moments. I was just trying to make a joke. I didn't really want to talk about it, but
I mean, I was just curious. I didn't,
yeah. And then the last thing is she's been online. She did an 8 minute live apparently where she was trying to address everything and she didn't do a good job. So
Oh, okay.
she's young. I mean, they're college kids, and people are saying basically like she doesn't deserve to be with this superstar. Then there's other people saying like she's only with him because he's a superstar and she's trying to become like a trophy wife and chase his money and all of this stuff. And so I thought you'd know because, that's it's been everywhere and, hardly minding my business. So,
This sounds like this is outside of my wheelhouse, but it sounds interesting. I'll look it up.
yeah. So I feel bad for the young lady. They're young.
To me, it sounds like she's being
She's young, they're both young,
criticized.
and she's not someone who's been in the spotlight her whole life the way he has. And I think she's made mistakes, but she's like 19, 20, whatever. Like, oh, I
So,
know the kind of mistakes I was making at that age, and I'm no superstar.
so what if they're having problems and maybe she just wasn't happy that day? I don't.
Well, that's the beef. People say there have been moments when she's clearly upset with him or something's clearly wrong with their relationship and nobody gives a fuck. They're saying if you're mad, be mad afterwards. If there's a beef, address it afterwards. If there were problems before the game, don't come to the game. Like what adults would do, right? Like if me and you were beefing and we had to record weeknights, we would address it later. We wouldn't be on weeknights like, nah, no, she's talking, or you rolling your eyes every time I say something. I'd be like, hey, this is weeknights. And you like, we would be professional. We'd be adults. And then, if you're a couple, people kind of scrutinize you more where it's like, hey, if y'all beefing, people outside shouldn't be able to tell, you know? But again, I think this is a 19, 20, 21. I mean, they're young college people.
That's why I'm like, also we gotta stop doing this thing where we think that people just always smile. They don't. That's just not realistic. And I understand what you're saying about like not bringing the business into certain spaces. I totally
Mhm.
understand that. Or not bringing their relationship issues into certain spaces. I totally get that. But I guess I got to read up more on it because to me this just sounds like she showed up somewhere and looked unhappy and people got upset. It doesn't sound like she was disrespectful or talked to anybody crazy, or because then I'm like, yeah, I get it. Or telling their business.
Oh, well, the thing is, they're saying these are some of the happiest and biggest moments of his life. And she doesn't seem to be happy at all. And so don't be there or put your feelings in your pocket is the general consensus. But my thing is I understand that and I agree with that partially. But she's also really young.
Right, and I don't think she's probably not.
I think you're asking for a lot of maturity. I mean, we all saw Ben Affleck looking quite upset at the Grammys. He looked like he didn't want to be at the Grammys and other places with J-Lo, who to the world, not me really, but to the world is one of the hottest women on the planet. And he was there like,
Yeah, this guy.
so I think you're asking for a lot of maturity from a very young person.
And you're also putting bad behavior on someone who didn't say a word.
No, it's you could see it. When you see the footage, you'll see what I'm saying. So like everyone is celebrating and she's there like,
What if she had a death in the family?
then she shouldn't have come to the game.
I don't know that I agree with that.
Stay home.
This is her man, and the same for the same reasons people are saying this is one of his biggest moments. To not be there at all, she would be criticized for not being there at all.
No, I don't think so.
Oh,
I
I
disagree with that.
absolutely think so. I think when these things come up, people find every which way to criticize you.
But
People
it's much
find a
easier
way
to
to.
say, hey, her so and so is sick or her so and so passed away than the camera panning to her and her looking pissed off. There's footage. You got to watch the footage to understand what I'm saying.
I'll watch, but to me, the reaction doesn't seem to fit the crime. But you know,
It looks bad. It looks bad. Like it's the Heisman one is really bad. She's the first person to she's the last person to stand up and the first person to sit down. And that's terrible. It seems like they're beefing in a lot of these moments, and that's fine. The general consensus is put that away or don't show up. And I agree with that. If they
Yeah.
were older people, we're talking about, I don't know, what are they, 19, 20, 21, 22? Like, at that age, what you want? Like, y'all think, it's not Beyonce we're talking about. Like, if Beyonce and Jay-Z are beefing, we're probably not gonna ever know in the public eye. They're gonna put it in their pocket, they're gonna behave accordingly, etc.
Yeah.
But I mean, a young woman with no media training who's not a celebrity, like, I mean, yo, I'm not saying they're wrong. I just feel like, yo, give her some slack. She's young.
No, I hear that. I hear what you're saying.
Like, if Rihanna came to the ASAP Rocky fashion show looking pissed off, then I'd be like, hey, yo, Rihanna, man, you should have stayed home. But this
Okay.
lady's not Rihanna. Like,
Yeah.
she's a college kid's girlfriend.
And I get that, and I totally understand. I'm not saying I would walk outside and do that, but I do try to find grace for other people when I can. So I guess that's why I was like, well, let me hear all the facts. Let me figure it out. Um,
It's the optics. It looks bad. And then I don't know the details of her 8-minute live, but apparently she went live and tried to address a bunch of stuff, but it didn't go well. She made it look worse. Is what I'm hearing. I didn't watch the 8-minute live of the young lady, but yeah, I can't believe we just did that. We're gonna have to scratch off one of our topics, but it's
also,
cool.
it's funny because I was gonna bring a random topic to you.
Oh well, what you got?
All right. First of all, let me just check my. For some reason, my the video is really dark today. I don't know why. Anyway, so someone asked a question today. I sometimes have these around the horn questions at work, and
Okay.
there was a good one today, and I figured that you might like this one. So I know it's not what we had planned, but just when you started making your joke, I was about to say, "Hey, let me ask you something." So, okay, the question was, if there was one movie that you could watch for the first time again, like you've never seen it before, what movie would it be?
But why would you want to do that?
Because the movie was so great that, like,
You want that
it.
first watch feeling again?
Yeah, yeah.
I've never considered that before. I just feel like if it's so good, watch it again. I don't. Uh, with no thoughts at all, the first thing that came to my head was Godfather 2.
Okay.
I mean,
Mine was Man on Fire.
it's a great film. Makes me cry every time.
Yeah, I feel like
Every time I know it's gonna happen, but every time I'm just like, oh, you both, oh, why,
right.
why,
A
why?
couple, and honestly, a couple of Denzel films,
She hugged him. Oh,
right?
why?
But also,
Uh,
and I know this is like Denzel. I'm Denzel standing right now, but John Q.
oh, that's another one.
I would totally watch John Q. Like Mind Eraser, and then watch it from start to finish, and still be in awe at that film. Because every time I do watch it, I'm always like, what is he gonna do next? Is he really gonna go in there? Is he going in there with a gun? It doesn't matter how many times I've seen this film.
You're a fool.
I'm still on the edge of my seat, and I'm like, don't do it, don't do it. But you
You're a
love your
fool.
son, but don't do it. But you love your son.
The hard part about those movies is like, I used to never believe it when I was younger, but movies like that, when you have a kid, it amplifies the emotional moments.
Sure.
Because now you put in your brain like, but if my kid was about to die,
what would I do?
what would I do? I wouldn't want my kid to die. Or if like the kidnapping thing in Man on Fire, you're like, but my baby. If they
Yeah.
kidnap my baby, I'd burn the whole city down too.
To the ground.
Yeah. So you be in that like heightened emotional state watching those movies as a parent. It's funny because when you hear people say that, you're like, y'all niggas is soft. That's all it is. Y'all are soft. Your heart just didn't enter the 36th chamber yet. You know what I'm saying? That's what happens when you're not a parent. So then when you are a parent, you be just watching regular shit like, damn, but if that was my kid though.
Changes the game, right?
It's just like weird. It's just like this weird moment where your parent part of your brain and heart just like
You just
a
take
little light just comes on. Where it's like, you know how in the old school shows it'd be like clap, and the whole audience start clapping. It'd be like cry, and you just be like, oh, what's happening right now? I don't understand. And then it was hug. It was just a hug. Oh God, why am I crying right now? I don't understand. Oh, this is crazy.
I hear you. But
Just be like the guy. Just be like the guy who was a punk ass kid. He became the star of the show, and now he's graduated. He's the man, and his parent is crying. And you'd be like, "Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, is that a tear? Oh, where'd that tear come from? I don't understand what's happening right now."
you feel it on a deeper level.
Right. Now your heart is in the 36th chamber. You know what I'm saying? It's in the 36th chamber.
What's wild is that as I'm sitting here, I'm like, why didn't I say John Q? Because John Q is like more than Man on Fire. John Q is like, what?
Oh yeah, John Q is that. That is like the emotional movie.
Yeah, that one. Oh man,
Don't
that
have a kid, or like it don't even got to be your kid. It could just be an important kid in your life. You know what I'm saying? Like you just be thinking like, oh, what if my kid? If they killed my nephew, what would I do?
Yeah.
Fuck those insurance companies.
Oh my gosh! And imagine watching it today, like this month.
You'd be like, you know what I should do? I should print a 3D. Never mind.
Okay, no. I'm just saying. I'm just saying things are very intense in terms of insurance companies right now in December.
Oh, I know. That's why I said what I said. That's why I made the joke.
I will not be watching John Q this month. I think this needs to.
I might watch it just because you said that.
For multiple reasons.
I have no plans this weekend. I might log in and watch some sad Denzel this weekend. You know what I'm saying?
Sad Denzel is great Denzel. I mean.
Oh yeah, I agree.
I mean, there's so many versions of him, but
I feel like sad Denzel, top tier. Sad Will Smith is the best Will Smith. Nobody talks about that.
That's true though.
Sad Will Smith is the best Will Smith.
Yeah.
When
he does that little nose cry that he does. Yeah.
Nose cry?
He doesn't nose cry. You watch it. Watch anything he does where he cries.
All right, I gotta look into that. Yeah. Who else is really good at sad? Morgan Freeman. You know what I'm saying?
Morgan Freeman's great at sad. Morgan Freeman is also great at balance. Like he's great at kind of bringing us back when we're sad.
Yeah.
He does that in films as well. Like he puts things into perspective.
Yeah.
And you need that guy. You need like a Morgan Freeman.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just looking up at my DVDs thinking like, who else is good at sad? All right, whatever. We can move on. All right, what topic you want to cover now since we've, hit the randoms tonight?
Let's talk about Kobe.
Okay. We'll end it on a high note.
Yeah.
So, CNN has announced that they are releasing a 3-part documentary on Kobe Bryant. And it will be coming out on January 25th. It's called Kobe, The Making of a Legend. And so they have some like footage of him before he was like an NBA star. They showed like a little snippet of him playing basketball as a kid. And it talks about like his level of dedication to the sport, to the game, etc. I'm all over this. I'm a Kobe fan. I'm excited. I assume it's just going to be online since it's saying a 3-part series. I'll be finding and watching this. I always think it's cool when we get to learn more about these types of people, these legends, these icons. We talk about all the biopics and all the docs that we watch up here. And so for me, this is no different. For me, this is actually even more intense because I'm a big Kobe fan.
Mm.
So I'm really excited. I know I don't sound excited, but I am. I am wondering also how much of his life they're going to cover because it's saying the making of a legend. So I'm wondering, will it stop when he kind of hits the peak of his career, or will they kind of go more into the afterlife as well? I could see this kind of as since it's three parts, being like before NBA, during the NBA, and after the NBA. Um, but I don't have any further knowledge. I'm just throwing out my thoughts. I'm just pontificating, you know.
Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, I think this is really exciting. Um, we know that Kobe was beloved by so many people.
Absolutely.
I definitely was among everyone else who was devastated when Kobe, not just Kobe, but when the plane crash happened and
Helicopter.
helicopter crash happened and him and his daughter passed away.
Yep.
So I don't think I've ever done a deep dive into Kobe's life
Okay.
and Kobe's journey. Um,
Hmm.
so for me, this would definitely be enlightening and insightful. So I also, just to speak to who's doing it, CNN is doing it. I feel like the fact that CNN is doing it means that it's going to be informative. Um,
Hmm.
we'll probably learn a lot of things that either I'm sure you, who has followed his career, knows, or things that maybe we didn't know, you know?
Right.
Um, so I think that's really exciting. Um, yeah, and I kind of like when CNN does this sort of thing. I think
Why?
I think they do it well. Um, I don't think I've ever watched like a CNN documentary where I was like, I could have left this where it was.
Okay.
I think they're always interesting and always informative. I mean, they're a news station, so it's. I mean,
Cable news network,
they're capable,
to be
right?
specific.
So this is what they do. Like journalism is what they do. Now, whether you
Right.
believe in their journalism or not is a different conversation. But
Then you call it the Clinton News Network.
so I'm really excited about seeing this. And
I'm on some devil's advocate shit today.
I think this is great, especially for Kobe fans.
Yeah.
I think this is
Yeah.
really exciting. So I'm glad that there's been so many ways, so many different ways that he's been honored, and I think this is just another way. So I'm always for that. I'm never gonna say no to honoring legends and honoring people who were here before and left such a legacy behind. So
Right.
this is
I dig
great.
that.
Yeah.
I dig that. All right. Well, let's end it here
Yeah.
because if we go into another topic, we're going to go into overtime. So,
Yeah, I think this is a good spot to end it, and we've got topics for tomorrow because we didn't do them today.
correct.
So, yeah. And tell us in the comment what's a movie you would want to watch for the first time ever again.
It's a really weird question, too.
It's a weird question, but I thought it was a good question.
Yeah, it's cool. I've just never thought of that before. I'm always like, even as I'm watching shit for the first time and it's good, I'm like, I gotta buy this.
Rewatch this again.
I gotta rewatch this.
Right.
I might have to come back. When is this? What's the rest of my week looking like? I may have to come back on Friday or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I get it. All right. Well, there we are.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching, viewing, commenting, subscribing. This has been Weeknights. We will see y'all tomorrow.